Oh, hello, it is I, your boy Gomi, and we are back with another UFC card, a pay-per-view. That really doesn't feel much like a pay-per-view, but it is a pay-per-view nonetheless. We are going to be looking at UFC 301, Pantoja versus Steve Erceg. And then Christian Martinez versus Jose Aldo? Yeah, it is indeed a weird one. It is indeed a, hey, we really don't have what we need to make a pay-per-view. Jose Aldo, you want to come out of retirement for one last fight? It's so weird, man. It really is. But at the very least, it's a pay-per-view. It's got some good fights. Is it as stacked as 300? Not even close. Is it better than... No, I can't think of many pay-per-views that this is better than, to be perfectly honest with you. But it is a good-ish card. It's better than Fight Night. I'll take that. I ain't gonna be complaining and say it's Fight Night level, but we're gonna take it. So let's look at the first fight on the card, which is actually a very solid fight. Alexandre Costa versus Kevin Borjas. I do really like this fight, to be perfectly honest with you. Kevin Borjas and Alexandre Costa, they're not super insanely high level. Costas have quite a bit of loss in the UFC. Well, 2 losses in the UFC. But they're against Steve Erceg, who's fighting for the goddamn belt, and Amir Abazi, who should have been fighting for the belt. So he's only lost to title contenders, believe it or not. And then he's beaten Jimmy Flick, who's a solid win overall. Meanwhile, Kevin Borjas only has 1 fight in the UFC, and it's a loss to Joshua Van. That's not a bad loss. I mean, I'm not going to be ranking a loss. It's a loss is a loss. But regardless, I think both guys are very solid fighters. I like the grappling ability of Alexandre Costa. To be honest with you, I think that might be a little bit too tough for Kevin Borjas. I think that's how it's going to go. But also, I can really see these guys just going out the gate and just swinging and banging, and I can see a finish happening. I don't know. I'm gonna be leaning towards Costa. Not really sold on a method, though, to be perfectly honest with you. Next fight is going to be Ismael Bonfim versus Vince Pichel. I think this is a setup fight for Bonfim, to be honest with you. Ismael Bonfim pissed me off. I cannot stress to you how mad I was that you're facing a dangerous and powerful Benoit Saint Denis. And you're saying, kick me. Kick me again. Keep kicking me. Kick me in the liver till I pee blood for a week. That's basically what he was doing against the vicious Benoit Saint Denis, who's all offense. Eventually, he had no energy left to just exist. And it's like, all right, well, I guess who's going to get submitted? I will sour me. I will always be sour about that. But Bonfim is a dangerous striker. He is a vicious grappler. He very ever goes to decision. How many times he went to decision? 6 times? Yeah. He's a finisher, while Vince Pichel, not so much. Vince Pichel is the king of canceled bouts, just has nothing but canceled bouts. A loss to Mark Madsen in 2 years ago, I believe. And I think the only win he has recently is Jim Miller. No, it's Austin Hubbard. Okay, yeah, so I don't need to say much about Vince Pichel. I don't think he's really good anywhere. If it goes to the ground, Ismael Bonfim takes it. If it stays on the standing, I think Ismael Bonfim takes it. I think he takes it everywhere, which is why Ismael Bonfim is the biggest favorite on the card. Yes. Second biggest favor on the card. I do not agree with the biggest. I think he should be the biggest. So it's a very easy no-brainer spot for Ismael Bonfim. Just be ready for just poor fight IQ. That is always going to be something that will linger in the back of my mind. I don't know why he did that. Maybe I'm harping on it too much. But then again, that was his last fight. Also, keep in mind too, Ismael Bonfim missed weight very badly the first time this fight was supposed to happen. So that is also something to mention. I don't know if I want to bet on Bonfim. I actually know it. I do know if I want to bet on Bonfim. I don't. But Bonfim's gonna win it. Dione Barbosa versus Ernesta Cottoncats. I can never say her name. I've tried so hard. I don't like this fight whatsoever, to be perfectly honest with you. I think this is a very weird fight because Ernesta, we haven't seen much of her at all. Like, she comes from Hexagon MMA, I believe it was, and then a fight in the Contender Series, and she's just queen of split decisions. I think she's riding a 4-fight split decision streak, 3-fight split decision streak with a draw. I don't know how she got in the UFC. And then you have Dione the Witch, who I just can't get over some of the losses she had, like against Josiana Nunes. I don't think is a good look for her. And then she's on a 3-fight winning streak from LFA. LFA is at least a little bit better of a organization than Hexagon MMA. I don't like this fight that much, to be honest with you. I'm gonna be going with Barbosa. I think she is the favorite. Let's see. Yep, she's a favorite, minus 205. That's it. Marcio Ruffy versus Jamie Malarkey. Jamie Malarkey, you have fallen off. I remember when people thought he was a prospect. I knew he wasn't from the start, but I did bet on him to beat freaking who was it? Naimov. I did bet him to beat Naimov, and he just got knocked out. He was like a minus 600 favorite. That was just so bad. That was a bad beat. But yes, I'm not. Jamie Malarkey, like, he fought some real, not really anything good. He had a good fight against Brad Riddell, who we learned was just a fraud. First, not good at all. And then he robbed Michael Johnson. Like, I don't know if it was a robbery, but it could have gone either way. It was a split decision code, went either way. I don't know how he beat Makdessi. Like I said, yeah, he should beat Makdessi, but it was too close. And then Hakpras, I called it. Hakpras knocked his ass out. So I'm not high in Jamie Malarkey. I'm not. I really am not. I get it. He's going up against a debutante, but this debutante is freaking vicious. This debutante has never seen the judges' scorecard. He has only lost once. Every other fight he's had is a win. He is 9-1. Never seen the judges' scorecard. Jamie Malarkey got knocked out by Nasrat Hakpras. Yes, Nasrat has a lot more experience and he has a really good boxing technique for MMA. But Marcio Ruffy hits hard, and Jamie Malarkey can get hit hard. So I'm taking Ruffy by TKO. Go watch Ruffy's fights. They're fun. They're fun. Don't watch Malarkey's. They're gonna piss you off. And then Joaquim Silva versus Drakkar Klose. Ooh, man, I went back and forth a lot with this one. I really went back and forth a lot with this one because on one hand, Joaquim Silva, hometown advantage in Rio de Janeiro, and Joaquim Silva's pretty good. He's pretty tough. Only crushing defeat he's had is just against good old Arman Tsarukyan, you know, the #1 contender. But Arman Tsarukyan beat the living shit out of him. It was not good. And then he didn't look good against Clay Guida. You should have finished Clay Guida. Beyond to that, he also got knocked out by Nasrat, who's just, that's not a good look. And then he lost to Vince Pichel, who I was talking Shazer about earlier. So it's just that Drakkar Klose looked really bad back in the day, but now he's looking really good. After that Beneil Dariush knockout, where he took a long 2-year layoff, he came back and he's looking good. Granted, not against good people like Joe Selecki. He slammed him, KO'd him, cool, it's great, but it's Joe Selecki. I don't know. He's just fighting meaner. He's fighting madder, and he's getting a lot more like knockouts, I'd say. He's hitting a lot harder. He's fighting with more intent. Drakkar Klose before that just didn't look all that good. Even when he was winning, it wasn't all that. And then he had that big layoff, that insane knockout from Dariush. But since then, he's looked good. So I'm actually going to be going with Drakkar Klose, and I believe he's the underdog. I'm almost certain he is. He's a favorite now. Oh my god. All right, well, I did all that spiel expecting me to go, but this is a good read, guys. He's an underdog. Nope, he's a favorite. He's a favorite. Like to mention, I didn't look at the odds until this. I do my tape, I pick my picks, I make my decisions, and then I don't look at the odds until this. In terms of what I actually bet, though, I wait till usually, I'd say tomorrow or Wednesday. I want to get a little bit early before the line shift, but also I don't want to have any bad beats or weight misses or whatever. But yeah, I'm going to be going with Jacare Closet. I want to lean towards decision because he's normally a guy who gets decisions, but with how mad he's been fighting and Silva can be finished, I'm going to be going with Closet by TKO. Hey, look, another Silva. Surprised, there's actually a very little amount of Silvas for this. I really thought there'd be a lot more Silvas. But Gene Silva versus William Gomis. I don't like this fight at all. I'm not going to talk much about it. William Gomis, he's coming from Paris. He's used to fighting in Paris, and now he's flying out to Brazil. They're not flying him out to Brazil to get an easy W. Gene Silva is pretty vicious. He's pretty powerful on the feet. Just the problem is William Gomis is extremely technical, and does a great job of, quite frankly, making the fight boring. It works because he's on a massive win streak, but yeah, he just does a really good job of slowing the fight down and fighting to his own pace. He has one knockout in his last 3 fights. Yeah, beyond that, he's just a very clean technical kickboxer, but Lord knows Gene Silva can crack. Gene Silva is a finisher, and he's on a win streak of a similar level. I think this is it can be a good fight depending on Silva, but it'll also be a boring fight depending on Gomis, whoever's leading the dance, which is why I don't like it that much. I'm going to be tentatively leaning towards Gene Silva to this to get it done. I wanted to say KO, but I'm going to just go with decision because Gomis is... but Gomis is the better decision guy, but I just feel Gene Silva's going to crack him. I feel like he's going to crack him. It's just that Gomis, I don't think he can get knocked out. I don't think so. I've seen him get cracked quite a bit and not knocked out, so I don't know. Speaking of someone who can get cracked and yet somehow still not get knocked out, Brenner, what is with your hairline? Brenner, it's even worse than mine. Jesus Christ. Like, just shave it. Just shave the front part. Just shave shave your bangs. I don't know what that is. I don't know. I'm not big into hair. I don't really have much hair, to be honest with you. But regardless, Elvis Brenner versus Maitebek Orobai. Boy. Okay. I know. We saw Oroboy beat the crap out of good old Posi. Sad. But Mikhail Olenjacek was training for a striker, and he said he trained no grappling. So Orobai, yes, his grappling is insane. It's really good. But I think it's overinflated. Elvis Brenner, on the other hand, that boy's a dog. There is absolutely a world where he can get taken down quite a bit and controlled quite a bit, but Orobai is not going to finish him. And Elvis Brenner can just outdog it. Like, I heavily counted out Elvis Brenner in his fight against Kutelaze. And I was like, once he won that fight, I'm like, yep, I don't know if I'm going to treat this guy like a dog anymore. I don't know, man. I'm going to put some faith in good old Elvis Brenner. And it paid off with his next fight, getting that knockout where I believe he was an underdog or he was heavily doubted upon. Orobai definitely can take him down, control him on the ground. But Elvis Brenner has not been submitted. I don't think he's going to get submitted. Really good BJJ black belt. He's at Shuto Box. You know them, Shuto Box. They love getting the fight to the ground, either knocking them down or the opponent knocking them down or taking them down. It depends. I like Elvis Brenner's matchup. I know he's a dog. I know damn well he's a goddamn dog. Yep, plus 220. I'm going to take the dog in this. And I'm going to take the dog to get it done by TKO. This fight. Screw this fight. Karolina Kowalkiewicz is 16 years older, I believe. There's a massive age gap between the two that makes me want to not touch it. 38 to 22. God, Lucindo is a baby. She is a goddamn baby. How old was she when I was in high school? Oh, man. Oh, God, I don't even want to think about it. God, she's a baby. Karolina Kowalkiewicz is old, though. She's old. Oh, God, I don't want to know how old she was when I was in high school. Regardless, Kowalkiewicz was not looking good. She dropped 5 fights in a row to good opponents, title challengers, champions, former champions. Yes, yes, yes. Then they gave her some nobodies and she strung together a win streak. Only good win she has is Vanessa Demopoulos. Otherwise, it's spotty. It's bad. But Ismael Nusindo, she's still green. She makes bad mistakes. She's got a win over Poliana Viana, who's not that good. I don't like this fight for many reasons. I want to lean with the younger fighter. You have to. But the experience could just screw you over, man. It's hard to say. I had a whole fight card, by the way, for Kalino Kaulinkejek to lose to Felice Herring. That was the only fight I got wrong. She won. So I don't know if I want to pick against her for that. But also, yeah, she's on a 4-fight win streak, but they suck. They suck. When she fights someone that's good, she loses. I don't know. Get this out of my face. I don't like this fight. Jack Shore versus Joanderson Brito. Oh man, I like Jack Shore, but I don't know how I feel so much about his jump up to featherweight. He didn't look that good against Ricky Simon. And then he didn't look at his last fight they won, but Jack Shore is a very talented prospect. Joanderson Brito, though, great grappler, insane grappler, really chaotic on the feet. He could do a great job of club and sub and getting this fight down to the mat. And then when Shore gets down to the mat, I don't know what he's going to handle, to be honest with you. I could see him getting subbed, but it's hard to say. It's really, really hard to say. I do like Jack Shore, but I don't know if I like him in this matchup against Brito. I'm going to have to be leaning towards Brito to get it done. I'm going to say submission. I think Shore's going to make one slight mistake, get the fight to the ground or something, and it's going to be a wrap. I don't know. I definitely think that... yeah, I'm going to take Brito to get it done by the submission. This is a weird one. It's a real weird one for me. But I think it should be a good fight. Definitely think it should be a good fight. And then we're on to the main card. Oh boy. Paul Craig is going to be taking on Caio Borralho. This could be a very good fight. Or this could be a very mid fight. It depends. It's just weird, man. It's a Paul Craig fight. Paul Craig fights are just always weird. You just can't trust this man to do normal things. Paul Craig has a win over Jamal Hill and then a win over Magomed Ankalaev. Until Jamal Hill lost to Alex Pereira, those were their only losses to Paul freaking Craig. And since moving down to middleweight, he's looked 50-50. Caio Borralho is going to be, I'd say, the much better fighter. Caio Borralho, in case you can't realize it, in case you haven't realized already, he's the biggest favorite in the card. The only reason I'm talking so much about this is because Paul Craig is known for those Hail Mary submissions. He's known for those last-second submissions. He can look like absolute trash like he did against Anthony Smith, but then he can look like a world beater, like how he looked against in the first Paris card. Who was that? Can't remember. Not first Paris card, the first London card since we went back. Nikita Krylov. And then, like, for example, next fight looked awful against Volkan Oezdemir. He looked awful against Brendan Allen, got submitted by him. Yeah, he looked good against Andre Muniz, and I picked him to knock him out, but still, I'm not gonna be laying juice in Caio Borralho. All I can tell you is that the over is probably a good pick because these guys are both very low volume strikers. They're not really guys who go out there and finish people, to be honest with you. Like Caio Borralho, he has 2 finishes in the last 4 years or something around that. It's just not, you're just not going to be getting a finish more than likely. And if you do, it's going to be something weird from Paul Craig, to be honest with you. So I'm just going to stay away from this fight. I think you should. Minus 500 doesn't even do anything for you in a parlay when it's Paul Craig he's up against. So Michel Pereira versus Iho Porteria. In case you're wondering why I can't go up or zoom into this, it's because it's short notice. Michel Pereira, I've just been so wrong about since he's moved up to middleweight. I thought we were going to go back to his old days where he was not a finisher, all his fights were going over. Since up in middleweight, I've took him to go over his last 2 fights against Petrovsky and Olejniczak, and they both ended in the first round. So I'm not going to do the same thing this time. I'm going to trust Michel Pereira to probably get it done in the first round. Ihor Porteria is not good. I'm surprised Erceg did not finish him or get finished. Like, I was astonished because, like, Ihor Porteria, even if he loses, he's getting knocked the hell out. But against the Michel Pereira, how he's been looking, he could absolutely knock out a short notice Ihor Porteria. I can see him getting the shit kicked out of him. But yes, that's all I have to say about that. Anthony Smith versus Vitor Portorino. How does Anthony Smith win this fight? I don't think he does. Anthony Smith, like, why he talks so much about being in title contention that I feel some people like think about him when talk about title just because he talks about it so much. But the only person he has a win over in the last 3 years is Ryan Spann. We just watched Ryan Spann get knocked out by Guskov. Like, beyond that, he has a win over Jimmy Crute, who just broke his leg. Like, he's just not good. Anthony Smith, like the Anthony Smith that was a title contender, died when Glover Teixeira beat the living shit out of him, knocked his teeth off, and Jason Hergov picked up and put in his pocket. I picked Anthony Smith to win that fight, and since then, I have not. Since then, I have not picked Anthony Smith, and he did go on a nice 3-fight win streak. But other than that, Walker, Ankalaev, Roundtree, those were all... Roundtree was an easy win for me. Easy win for me. I'm surprised he went to the 3rd round, to be honest with you, but still, he got the shit beat out of him. I just don't think Anthony Smith is at that level. I don't think he's been at that level since for a long time, for a very long time. Vitor Portorino hits hard, better jiu-jitsu, better wrestling. I see no way in regards to how Anthony Smith can win this fight. So get this out of my face. I'm going to be taking Vitor Portorino to get done by TKO. Just kick his legs. Just kick his legs. He's done. His leg kicks are like, his weakness to leg kicks is so bad. Like, that's all Magomed Ankalaev did to him. That's literally it. So I don't know. And then we're on to the co-main event of the evening. You're not the co-main event. You're the co-main event. A very weird fight between Jonathan Martinez and Jose Aldo. It's going to be a bantamweight bout. Martinez is going to be 30 years of age, 19 wins, 4 losses, 9 knockouts, 2 submissions, 5'8" in terms of height, southpaw stance, 70-inch reach on the dot. They both have the same reach. He's going to have a 0.44 takedown average, a 52.81% significant strike accuracy, a minus 150 favorite. Significance over Adrian Yanez, Syed Nurmagomedov, Cub Swanson, and Vince Morales. I don't know why I put Vice Morales. Jose Aldo is going to be 37 years of age, 31 wins, 8 losses, 17 knockouts. Damn. 1 submission, 5'7" in terms of height, orthodox stance, 70-inch reach, a 0.48 takedown average, a 50.30% significant strike accuracy, plus 125 underdog. Significance over Rob Font, Pedro Munoz, Chito Vera, and Renato Moicano. Is this like one of, or the second, maybe second only, where a UFC fighter inducted into the Hall of Fame and then they come back? The only one I can think of off the top of my head was Uriah Faber. We saw what happened with that. Uriah Faber was a heavy underdog and he beat the shit out of Ricky Simone. It's shocking to me. It really is. But then he still got knocked out by Petr Yan. I don't know. I think Jose Aldo can win this spot. It's just difficult. The main thing is Jonathan Martinez isn't really a finisher. His main thing are those leg kicks, which Jose Aldo is amazing at checking kicks. He's amazing at getting his leg out the way or checking that. But he's old. He's old. He's coming off, not a layoff. He's coming out of retirement. He's straight up retired, man. But up until then, he was looking good. He's one of the few people who couldn't get taken down by Merab Dvalishvili, but I'll never forgive Merab for just hugging him up against the fence. But he stayed up on the feet. It's just that he gassed out. And the thing is, they set him up for failure. He fought Merab Dvalishvili, a cardio machine, at altitude. They set him up for failure. I definitely thought that, honestly, the Jose Aldo we saw there, he could have beat Aljamain Sterling. I really feel he could have beat Aljamain Sterling. But nope. He strung together a good win streak against Rob Font, Pedro Munoz, and Chito Vera. I do think Jose Aldo was good, but again, 2-year layoff. And you guys know me, as much as I really want to pick Jose Aldo for the experience advantage, the body shots, the Bailey's check kicks, I'm not going to be picking him in the spot. Jonathan Martinez is younger, and honestly, the only advantage he has is those leg kicks. To be honest with you, I like Jose Aldo almost anywhere. It's just the age thing. One thing to mention, Jose Aldo doesn't, like, he's really good at lasting long against these lower level competition. He's really a decision guy, despite how many knockouts he used to get. He's really only getting knocked out by like a Piotr Jan. Beyond that, almost all of his fights since 2018 have gone the distance. Jonathan Martinez also not a finisher. It's in Rio de Janeiro, so if it's close, but probably Martinez wins, but it goes to the distance, I honestly believe that they're going to give it to Jose Aldo. So that's something to be wary of. I think the over is a good bet, but I don't know about picking either guy, especially how close it should be. Jose Aldo is in form. He should beat the piss on Martinez. If he's even half as good as he used to be, it'll probably go distance, and Martinez really, really needs to put a stamp on it, or those judges are going to give it to the king of Rio. It's Rio de Janeiro. He is the king of Rio, so that's all I'm saying. Be on the wary for that. Judges be judging. They be judging. So, and on to the main event of the evening. God, Steve Erceg just does not look like he belongs in there. Like, he's a good fighter, but he just does not look like he belongs in there. But yes, we're going to be having good old Alexandre Pantoja versus Steve Erceg for the flyweight belt, because they didn't want to give it to Muhammad Mokaev for whatever reason. Regardless, Pantoja is going to be 34 years of age, 27 wins, 5 losses, 8 knockouts, 10 submissions, 5'5" in terms of height, orthodox stance, 67-inch reach disadvantage, a 2.20 takedown average, a 53.70% significant strike accuracy, minus 210 favorite. Significant wins over Brandon Royval twice, Brandon Moreno 3 times, Alex Perez, and Manel Kape. Steve Erceg is going to be 28 years of age, 12 wins, 1 loss, 2 knockouts, 6 submissions, 5'8" in terms of height, orthodox stance, 68-inch reach advantage, a 1.69 takedown average, a 51.60% significant strike accuracy, plus 175 underdog, significant wins over David Dvorak, Alessandro Costa, and Matt Schnell. All I'm going to say is, I'm sorry, Steve Erceg should not have gotten this damn title shot. They gave it to him because, like, he had an exciting fight against Matt Schnell. I mean, it's Matt Schnell. Everyone knocks out Matt Schnell. Beyond that, like what else did he do that was like, oh my god, he is definitely the most exciting guy, we got to give it to Steve Erceg. He had 2 decisions, David Dvorak and Alessandro Costa. Those are nothing bugger fights. He knocked out Matt Schnell. I could knock out Matt Schnell probably. Nah, probably not. But yeah, it should have been like Muhammad Mokaev. If Amir's still out, which I'm going to assume he is, it should have been Muhammad Mokaev. This is just idiotic. Yeah, Steve Erceg gets some chances to win. Steve Erceg is the better boxer, and Alexandre Pantoja box punches with his face. He just walks things down like a zombie. But Steve Erceg needs to be on point, and he needs to knock out Pantoja, because Pantoja he's the better grappler. Erceg has some slick grappling I've seen, but by far Pantoja is the better grappler. He could absolutely get the fight down to the ground, and then he could either lay on him or he could get a submission. He could get his back. It's a wrap. And then on the feet, like I said, Erceg may be the cleaner, more technical striker, but Pantoja he could throw your technicality out the window when he keeps marching you down, destroying volume and haymakers. It's exhausting to fight Alessandro Pantoja, to be honest with you. I think Pantoja is going to get this done. I'm surprised the odds are that close, I thought Pantoja would be a bigger favorite, but I don't think Erceg's the guy to get it done. As much as I love Mokaev, I don't even know if Mokaev or think Mokaev's the guy to get it done. I think Pantoja's going to have a long reign, but I could be absolutely foolish and Steve Erceg could clip him on the chin, because that's something. His hooks are deadly. Pay attention to those. That's the same way Matt Schnell got into a brawl with Erceg. Erceg landed on him and knocked him out. But again, Pantoja has 4 times the chin that Matt Schnell does. And don't forget, Pantoja will, if he's getting beamed up and tagged, he will go to the ground. His fight against Brandon Royval, the second one, wasn't that good because Royval was getting the better on the feet. So he realized, hey, I'm going to get knocked out if I keep like playing this game. So he took it to the ground and he dominated on the ground. So give me Alexandre Pantoja to get this done. I think he's get done by... It's hard to say. It's hard to say how Erceg really loses because we haven't seen much of how he loses. We haven't seen much holes. Not saying he's a perfect fighter, but we haven't seen enough fights for him to see holes. I think in the grappling realm, Pantoja can get it done. I think he gets a submission. I like that. Give me Pantoja by submission. And once again, that is it. That'll be all for your boy Gomi. Please let me know what you think in the comment sections down below. I will probably not be doing a best bets shorts for this fight because I'm sorry. I'm not doing a best bets for Anthony Smith, Vitor Patino, Michelle Pereira, Ior Pateria, Paul Craig, and Caio Bahario. They're going to be high odds. Simple as that. They're going to be like minus 500, whatever. I'm not doing that. So, that's good. Bye-bye.